I get you?
Yeah, no. At first, I was like, "Oh no, I'm on the wrong camera. This is bad."
I did it. That was the spooky part.
Welcome everybody to a live stream. If you guys let us know in the chat where you guys are all from, I'd really appreciate that. It's always nice to see if we're from like getting some random person from Irkutsk or something. It's my favorite spot on the old Risk board on the board game. I don't know if it's still a country. If I'm being honest. Yeah. So let's see, Stan. What are you gonna do today? What brings us here today?
I'm gonna be doing some spooky Quicksketch poses.
Okay.
If you want to put it on my drawing cam.
Yeah, let's go ahead and add this.
Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, is it? Is that one?
Let me. What? There we go.
Is the resolution bad on that one? Maybe not. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I got these were nude, but you know, YouTube's.
Yeah.
We had to pencil over them, but I got a bunch of spooky poses. I got way more than I'm gonna draw.
Absolutely.
But, you know, they're kind of like, oh no, I'm so spooky kind of poses.
That's what he's saying?
Him? No,
yeah.
He's like, oh no, I can't move. Let me go. She's saying, oh no, I'm so spooky. But some of them are not that spooky at all. Like this guy's running away from someone else. Like
I saw this one. It looks like
this one.
It looks like him like doing like a little dance.
Yeah, but I think he's running. And here he turned around. He's like, no, I'm gonna fight her.
Yeah, or fight the zombie.
Yes. Oh, but then we got some real crazy stuff. Oh no, I just dropped everything.
So yeah, for today, we're gonna be doing some Quicksketch here. Well, Stan will be doing Quicksketch. And if you guys have questions during that about what Stan's doing, or anything else like that, please ask the question. Just to get ahead of things that people will ask in the chat every single time. This stream will be available afterwards. It's going to be there. You guys can watch it later. If anyone else asks that in the chat, I'm not really going to answer it. If you guys can just let them know that, yeah, it'll be available later. You'll be helping so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think here
favorites.
Well, I'm gonna let. I think David Rodriguez. I think you should be responsible for letting people know that if that the stream will be available. He's here in the chat.
Okay.
I'm giving him the responsibility of telling everybody.
David, you have to stick around for the whole 2 hours now.
Yeah, please, David, help us.
Okay, but you guys in the comments, I'm gonna pick the first one, but if you can chime in and pick, you know, which set. I know there's too many, but like if anything stuck out to you, try to describe it as best as you can to Steven, and he'll tell me what the next one will be.
Yeah, this works for
me. We also have this guy, different body type.
Sword guy.
Yeah. Sword jumping dude. Look at the agility. He huge guy, but like, damn.
So I like that the bottom's cut off, so you can't tell if he's just jumping like 3 inches.
This one?
Yeah.
There was another pose where you could see like 4 feet below him.
Really?
From the same pack. Yeah, I was like, what? How is he
weird?
So high up?
Photoshop.
Is he, like, on a rope?
Photoshop.
Maybe. Yeah, they just added more. Because you can't actually see the ground at all. All right, I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna start with just like a little warm up, because you know you always gotta warm up. So let's do something simple.
We do have one quick question here. Right here in the beginning. So someone said, "Don't you think Prokopenko is a weird last name?"
Yeah.
How do you feel about that question?
I mean, weird people rule the world. So
there you go. Getting one in the beginning. There's another person here. Abhinav is saying, "Proko, you helped me improve a lot."
Thank you. I mean, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that. I don't know who you are, but it's good to know.
Yeah. Way to go, Abhinav.
Yeah.
We're happy about your improvement.
No, but seriously, I am actually happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, maybe we sound facetious because it's
like thanks, dude. Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah. It's great.
Actually, yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna do this one pretty rough and loose. Just go with my usual stuff. I start with like a little oval, a little rhythm for the neck. This one's gonna be probably kind of messy because I'm just gonna be warming up my hand. Because I noticed that if I start trying to get my first one like really nice and tight, I don't actually loosen up my hand, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of them. And I'm just like not feeling the poses. So I'm gonna start this one real loose, even if it means I'm gonna make proportional mistakes and a little messy up here. Doesn't really matter. So I'm just kind of pushing the gesture, maybe not even her. She's actually going even more. Yeah, whatever.
So far, we do have one person speaking about what to do next. And they're saying that they don't have a particular favorite of the poses, but they love some that have heavier perspective and hidden limbs because that gives them a hard time.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. Zetrectos, we're on it.
Yeah. So if you guys saw the recent rhythms episodes, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. If not, I highly recommend you go watch them, because rhythms is kind of the big concept that helped me figure out how to get like capture motion and action and the gesture in my poses and people. So I think it's a really helpful video. It's the most recent series that I did, so it'll be easy for you guys to find it. It's part of the basics course.
There's one thing that you did here that I think is a pretty handy tip that a lot of people responded to in the comments. That was about the way that the breasts on the torso lay. You talked about them being a specific shape. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little upside down heart. So like if you're drawing a torso up and down, it's the pit of the neck, right? It's the rib cage. I usually just start with like that rhythm of the breasts around the rib cage, and then from there I'll think of a little upside down heart. There's the breast, and then that makes it easier for me to imagine them in 3D space then, because then I'm just thinking of, okay, heart in perspective rather than trying to think of anatomy. And this, I mean, obviously it's a 3-dimensional heart, so like some things aren't just like a simple heart. But it still helps me visualize this whole unit as one heart that's being stretched this way, and this one's straight towards us, that sort of thing.
There's another question here from Hank Smith. They said, how do I know I'm drawing rhythms and not just gesture?
Well, your rhythms can capture gesture or structure. Like rhythms are the main way I use to capture gesture. So they're not like different. They have a big overlap is what I'm saying. So okay, like you can absolutely be trying to capture the gesture of the arm with a rhythm. It's just that rhythms are a very specific thing, whereas gesture is much more broad. Gesture is like the whole story, the expression. I could have done this arm with like this, right? And that still captures the gesture of the arm, but those are not rhythms. Like this is scribblies, right? I can capture the gesture of an arm with structural elements. Like I can say that this is a cylinder, but I want to make sure that I'm capturing the gesture of it, right? That it's doing this. This isn't the arm anymore. This is just something. But like I'm drawing cylinders, but I want to make sure that I'm not losing the gesture of these cylinders. But they're not. I mean, you could say some of these are rhythms. It's like there's so much overlap. Like a curve could be a rhythm, or it could just be a curve. Like it's not super precise, and that's not how I would think about it. Like, oh no, did I just draw a gesture or did I draw a rhythm? It's more about the idea that the purpose of rhythms are to find big connections between things,
rather
not
than the one thing itself,
rather than the contour of the thing itself. So sometimes it is going along the outer perimeter, but I'm not necessarily trying to look at the actual contour. This one isn't like the greatest example because the arm is super simple. But if this was like a buff dude with like a bunch of bumps and muscles everywhere, I would ignore all those bumps because I'm not drawing that contour. I'm just drawing the flow through all those connections. Another thing, here's actually a much better example of what a rhythm is. So when people go in to draw the legs at this point, they'll just look at, okay, this one comes down, and they'll just start drawing it like that. But the strength of rhythms is that, again, it connects things together. So I will look for how this rhythm from the rib cage, if I keep it going, it lines really nice with this leg over here. Right? So rhythms look for connections. Do you see how that just perfect connection there is super useful? I wasn't talking to you, Steven.
Oh, no, I'm speaking for the audience.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But so that's one thing that I see that the biggest mistake with people attempting to do rhythms is that they don't actually think of it as big connections between forms. Instead, they simply look at a piece of a contour and they'll just simplify that piece of contour. But that's not the point of it. I mean, that's one great thing about it is it does help you simplify shapes. But like you really have to use it to connect all the way through. It's like from this foot, you can think of this rhythm all the way up to the neck. Like that is a beautiful rhythm. It's kind of like you hear about the main action line of a pose, but now think of the main action line of all the different parts of the pose. It's not just one main action line. It's a bunch of action lines, and you're looking for them throughout the whole thing. It's in a very abstract way of thinking about it.
Unkit, I think, is asking a good question here. They said, could there be a pose where the rhythm doesn't have a connection?
No.
Yeah, I think the thing for rhythms is finding where these go. Like they won't necessarily touch each other or anything. It's about you finding this moving into this other part.
Yeah.
Like you invent the rhythm basically.
Yeah, you're searching for them, you're inventing them. It's not always a template, although the body is usually similar. Like we all have two legs, two arms connected to the same parts of the torso, and so the rhythms tend to appear in very similar places. And so you could kind of think of it as a template. Which, by the way, I have a really good ebook out that I just released.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm gonna drop a link here in chat. Just one moment.
All right. It's free. It's free. It's free. We're not. Gosh, stop attacking me. It's free, I swear. But no, so sometimes there won't be you'll have to like force a connection in there, and it's not always the best thing to do. Like, for example, this leg down here, it's very much like a zigzag, and trying to find one big flow throughout here might not be the best way to approach this, because part of the gesture of this is that this is like, it feels dislocated. It does not feel like it's flowy. So it's good to have some of these zigzaggy shapes in there. But within there, you still ignore like toes and heels, and you just think of the big flow within that area.
Okay. All right, so that should be in the chat now for you guys.
Okay, so this was quick warm up. All right, I think I'm done. I got the pose. The anatomy kind of sucks and it's messy, but you get it.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Which one did somebody say? Which one was it?
They said they just wanted hard perspective where a full limb is hidden. That's actually a request from a couple people in here. So
okay. I really like this one. I'll eventually do this one. I love the the big S-curve sweep through here and then sudden turn downward. So to put that aside, I'm gonna do that one.
For you guys in the chat, just a reminder, go ahead and just at Proko and then drop a little Q at the beginning of your guys' question so I can definitely see that.
Man.
A lot of times it's some of the stuff
man, I know I had a really good perspective one. I don't think we ended up putting it out.
Oh, did you not send me one, Stan?
Well, okay, so this one I was gonna do this guy. Because I mean, this is just a great pose, and like, the anatomy on this guy is awesome. But these guys have perspective. Oh, they're kind of foreshortened.
While you figure out exactly,
how about this one? How about this one?
Yeah, this one's good because you have some foreshortening. There's a bunch of stuff.
Just a little bit of foreshortening. I could maybe push it a little bit. A little bit of invention.
Aries, we are not skipping your questions. I specifically asked one that you said in the beginning.
Is someone complaining?
Yeah, in YouTube chat, never. A couple people are asking just about what paper you're using, what pencils.
Newsprint.
Yeah, we're using
charcoal
right now. Charcoal.
This
Conte.
is Conte.
Apelli.
Yep.
Oh, look at C. George.
By the way, have you guys tried?
You nailed it, C. George. Oh, you want to show this pencil?
Yeah, this is the Forever pencil. It never ends, but you can't see it. It's even better. It's even better on this because it doesn't go on newsprint. Oh my god! It's not just the camera. It literally doesn't go on the newsprint.
Wow!
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I swear to God, this is a real pencil.
You guys might have seen a video going around for a little bit. That was a person using a pencil that you just basically don't have to sharpen. It just stays sharp for like forever.
See, it works. But it does not work on newsprint, apparently.
That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, it stays sharp forever. It doesn't actually, and you can't sharpen it. It's like a piece of metal. But anyway, it's dumb. You can't go very dark with it, so it's not good. All right, so foreshortening. I'm gonna talk about how even just within the torso, it looks like we're looking straight at it, but there's two parts on the torso that are both foreshortened. You have the rib cage that is going away upward, and you have the pelvis that is going away downward. And so we can think of it as these two foreshortened elements that curve over towards us. So let's start by just doing like a big rhythm of the torso. By the way, look at that, how that curve already describes that we basically have a torso doing this, right? Yeah. That was a rhetorical question.
It wasn't a question at all.
I said right.
Yeah, I don't think that was a real question, Mark.
No, it wasn't.
But yeah, this is just like when you do the Loomis head and you indicate which direction the eyes are going. Same concept.
Oh, another thing I want to capture with this one is the twist. Because look, you see how the pecs, the center line goes back there behind. So it wraps around this way, but then the center line comes out through here. So there's a twist going on. But okay, so now we have the rib cage up here, and I'm thinking about it going this way. And I'm probably lengthening this guy, but let's make him more bulky. So essentially what I'm thinking of is a front plane here, side plane here, and then you can't see it because it's covered by abs, but you would have a bottom plane of the rib cage down here. And then a lot less of the side plane visible on the torso. Actually, maybe the side plane should have been even bigger. Like that. Yeah, so it'll show even more of a twist. Live streams are always a disaster, aren't they?
I mean, there's always some stuff that goes negatively. We sorted out most of the stuff earlier, though. Alec Obert. So you're asking what pencil Stan uses. It's the Conte a Paris charcoal pencil.
Paris.
Conte a Paris. For some of these questions, you guys, if you see someone asking a question repeatedly, feeling like they haven't been answered, but it's something we've already hit, let them know if you guys remember. Someone was asking if you feel that having a long sharpened lead is necessary for gesture drawing.
It's not necessary. So I have another one here that I used up a little bit more that is not as long. And actually, a lot of this part is actually wood. You just can't see it because the wood got dark. But the charcoal actually starts right there. So it's pretty short. It's this much. But I could still do the same, the same types of strokes with it. Because I don't actually use all of this length. You're never going to see me do a line this thick. But I don't know. There's something about having that extra length that makes it feel good. I don't know. But no, you definitely don't have to. It's not necessary. You could expose like half an inch as long as that half inch is sharpened really well so that you can use the entirety of that half inch when you need to shade real soft like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you can't do that, if the pencil is fighting you, then you're not really utilizing the side at all. Like you might as well just be using the tip all the time. Okay, so you see guys what I'm doing here? I have basically two boxes. One is pointing this way. The other is pointing a little bit more towards us because see how much of the side plane? Much more side plane here, less front plane. Much more front plane here, less side plane. This one we're seeing the bottom plane, and this one we're seeing the top plane. And so that is basically, if my fists are this guy's torso, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We're like stretching his abs out. And I'm thinking of the perspective of the boxes. I mean, not perfectly. I'm not like thinking of vanishing points, but I'm thinking of planes, and I want to make sure that these boxes look somewhat believable. They're distorted to be more of like anatomically like a rib cage and all that, but I'm just thinking of the planes. That's about it. And then from there we can start putting in all of the other landmarks. So this landmark is important to get that rib cage popping out,
mm-hmm.
right? Because the skin will kind of go poop, and then his abs will start stretching down and into about here where it attaches. And then from behind these abs, you'll get the obliques that come out and attach to the hip right there, to the bone. And you can't see that bone, but because it's covered by the underwear there, but there is a nice bone right there. It's a straight line. And I could have just followed the angle of the box, but well, it's already too dark.
Should we have a timer going for your quick sketches, you think? Do you want that?
I don't want to, because like if I'm explaining something,
you can take more time.
Do I really want to just stop explaining it in the middle and just like, time ran out, I'm not going to finish this pose? Like I'm explaining, so I'm not actually doing this nearly as fast as I would if I was just doing Quicksketch. This is very different. Like teaching Quicksketch, demoing Quicksketch is different from just doing Quicksketch, because I'm moving super fast when I'm just not talking. And I'm moving very slow. Okay, so this leg is also foreshortened. So I could measure like I could do a rhythm. This is a rhythm as well. Whoop. I don't see that rhythm, but I am connecting two things together. It doesn't have to be something that you're literally seeing and following. Usually you do have to kind of create some kind of abstract connection between things. including a little rhythm between the knees. That is a rhythm. Let's see. So let's think of this as a box as well. That's going away from us. You see that? This helps me visualize the whole leg if I just put this little box there and how it's going away from me. And that will help me keep the proportions correct, because now it doesn't feel so short. If I kept this two-dimensional, this might feel artificially short and small, just because it's like, oh, why is it, like, his leg is supposed to be this long, but it's not. But when you make it three-dimensional, it's like your brain is like, oh yeah, it's going away from us. Of course it's short. It just makes more sense for your brain, because you'll naturally just try to lengthen foreshortened things in your drawings.
Robert Czar here is asking, how big should these sketches be while we're practicing?
Vary it up. So most of mine are about, I would say like 10 inches. I keep it as a default. But when I'm doing quicker ones, I'll keep them smaller. I'll do like 4-inch sketches. I'll do 5-inch, 6-inch sketches. Sometimes I'll do full like 12, 14 sketches. Try not to just do all your sketches the exact same size, because then you'll be used to only that one size.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people who draw digitally, it ends up being odd when they go to draw physically, and something's supposed to be bigger, and they're so used to drawing out basically one size.
Yeah, it's really normal for people to just get into this pattern, and then it's hard to get out of it because they get comfortable with that size, and then when they try to get out of it, they're like, oh my, what, this is bad, I don't like this, and they'll just go right back to what they're comfortable with because it gets them the results.
Alec, thank you for the super chat.
All right.
The same thing goes for a person earlier. They were asking a question with a super chat. I'm not sure exactly what. I guess they're saying, what do you think about this way of studying? And I'm going to read you what they said. Draw 2 to 3 hours, up to 5 hours per day, but not only draw for the sake of drawing, but study with focus. For example, in your fundamentals class, study in 30-minute intervals with a break of 5 or 10 minutes. What do you think of this way of studying?
Just breaking it up?
I suppose, yeah. It seems pretty ideal from what you said. You're drawing with intention.
Yeah.
I think. Do you have any notes for a person who's using this method of studying? What they should be trying?
Well, what's the method? Like, simplify it down for me. Maybe I missed some part of it.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same spot. It sounds like they're just saying draw for up to 5 hours a day.
Okay.
Study in 30-minute intervals with a break of 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, no, that's exactly how classes were set up when I was at school. We would draw for like 20 to 30 minutes, usually about 20, just because because the model needed to take a break more often, not necessarily because the students did. So 30 minutes, totally fine. You could even do 45 minutes and then break for 5 to 10 and then come back and do it again and do that for like a 3-hour stretch. And then you're probably going to be pretty tired. You're going to need a longer break. Probably going to get hungry, need a snack, go walk around. You don't want your body to be sitting all the time.
Absolutely. So, yeah, deep vein thrombosis is real, guys. Don't get it. You gotta stay away from getting that and carpal tunnel. Being an artist is dangerous.
Yeah.
In keeping with the idea of studying and how to study, do you have any insight or suggestive tips for someone as a beginner having trouble with focusing with ADHD? How does one properly study when trying to understand or learning a technique or skill?
Well, oh, shoot. My wife's calling.
One big one is to definitely limit distractions around you while you're studying. Put the phone away. Put it on silent.
Yeah, see what happened there? So as far as I understand it, people with ADHD also have the ability to like hyper focus.
Absolutely. I do it
So
every night at 2 a.m.
so you kind of like that's a superpower that a lot of people don't have. Like if you're actually interested in something, your brain will just lock into it and you can't get out of it. So that's great. So yeah, if you could get those distractions out of the way, then you're just gonna be hyper focused and you could go for a long time. I don't know. I feel like people with ADHD learn to. It's kind of hard to give advice. I don't have ADHD. I have a little bit of like. I have maybe a mild form of it, but not like anything extreme. But most people, I think, just learn to cope with it. They like figure it out.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. I'm not the best person to give that advice, though.
The main thing is to just know yourself, learn the pattern of when you get distracted, and try to limit that stuff. And then also write down your goals and refer to those goals at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Don't let you in the moment decide what you're going to do, because there's always something shiny that'll get your attention. Like, refer to your goals.
Yeah.
For everyone here in the chat, there's a coupon code on screen right now. It's spooky 13, so you can save 13% off. That's
so scary.
It's the spookiest of numbers. You can use that for the reference that you're seeing here. They're from a couple different people. That's at proko.com/tools. You can use that code for that or for any of the courses. Save some money. Draw some things today.
Yeah, we're just trying to save you guys money.
Yeah. But we really buried it. So you guys had to be here half an hour in to get it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for being here.
Looks like he's got a little scarf on. This guy's cozy. This guy's not. All right. So I'm getting into the torso, but I'm always thinking, okay, how does it connect to the thing I've already drawn? So center line goes like this, but I'm thinking from here to here, right? Rhythms are about connections. Ignoring all this muscle detail and just trying to find that angle up. More like that.
As one question here. It's a 2-part question from Hank again. Says, hey Stan, do you think traditional art is played out? Of course, these courses are amazing for honing your skills.
Wait, first, before you continue, I'm curious. What do you mean played out? What does that mean?
Yeah, no, I think he goes into it a little bit here.
Okay.
Yeah, so do you think traditional art is played out? Of course, these courses are amazing for honing your skills, because you never want to be. It fell off. But are we just going to draw the same portraits, still lifes, fantasy drawings where animals are humanized? How do you approach your own art yourself? What are you exploring? What do you think? I'm going to drop off that last part, and we'll just answer the first question. Do you think traditional art is played out?
No. I mean, first of all, it's not. I'm not teaching necessarily traditional art. I try to teach fundamental principles of the visual language.
Mm-hmm.
This applies to any new thing that might come around that is visual.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I use it. I show it to you with tools that are used for like traditional art, tools that were used for a long time now. But
so there's one part in that next thing that they ask here, which feels like it doesn't necessarily just mean traditional, like as a medium. They said, are we going to do the same portrait, still lifes, fantasy drawings where animals are humanized? I don't.
But that's not all we do.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know why it's limited to that.
The question it sounds like you're asking is art played out? Because having a set of skills to be able to make something with